Club's power ranking is back, boys and girls. Let's see who has been the best 10 teams in the world last month. Listen, as you guys know, it's a monthly tradition. We do this every month just to see who is consistently amongst the top 10 and who is just having a random good month and we don't see them ever again. Last month, we've seen some newcomers. Last month, we've seen some teams fading away and not even appearing in the top 10. Before we get to the top 10, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you comment your own top 10 or whether you agree or disagree with my selection. We start with number 10, and we've got a newcomer, boys and girls, Mr. AC Milan. 4 wins from the last 5, currently since at third. They've only lost once this season, and they've done this without the star man, without the best player, without the number 1 in Mr. Leao. And a lot of talks was made about Milan this season. Not a lot of people had hope in Milan this season, including Milan fans themselves. Like, a lot of people saying, we're spending money, but it's not the position which we want. Like, we want different positions, and you man are getting me players which we don't really need. At the same time, neutrals are saying, come on, man, Allegri ball in big 2025. So I kind of hear it. But Milan, 4 wins from the last 5, but they've had a very, very tough start. Like, Roma is second. And I could have had Roma, but I felt like Milan has had a much tougher start. They beat Juve. Sorry, they beat Napoli. They beat Bologna, and they drew against Napoli. So they drew against Juve, apologies. So they've had a very difficult start without Leao, but still managing to pick up 3 points, picking up a draw to Juve away from home, of course. So it's a good start for Milan. And Allegri, I can't lie, man. The 3 at the back, the 5 midfielders, having Rabiot and Luka Modric in that midfield is cooking. Salamanca's doing very well on the right-hand side. Pulisic is scoring goals. Yes, I know he missed a penalty against Juve, but Milan are playing very well. So imagine if you add Leao, putting him, as we saw in the preseason, having him in that false 9 role. I can't lie. I was the only one which, despite a lot of people saying why, I had Milan very high this season. I felt like Milan with the new signings and Allegri, I think, wanting to impress and wanting to showcase that he's not finished. Listen, it's not a bad start for Milan. So for that reason, I've got them in top 10. In 9th place, we've got another newcomer in Bournemouth, 4th in the league. The best ever start they've had to a Premier League season. Only lost once this season, and that was to Liverpool at Anfield in the first game of the season, which, let's be real, they could have won that game. They could have drawn. Bro, they were losing 2-0. They came back from 2-0 down at Anfield, and they're playing better than Liverpool. Liverpool, of course, went on to win that game, scored 2 late goals, but Bournemouth throughout this whole season has been very consistent. Yes, they lost in the League Cup, but that's a tournament which I don't know if they take seriously or not, but in the league, fam, look at the way they play. Semenyo is having an all-timer season already, fam. This Donny leads the Premier League. He's second behind Haaland in terms of the most goal involvement. Like, the game against Fulham is the perfect demonstration. Despite not having a great game, they still managed to win these kind of games. And Bournemouth this season, as you guys know, this is my number 1 Premier League team. The one team that I like due to, of course, Anthony, and I'm a very, very big Anthony fan. But I do see Bournemouth. I mean, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if I see Bournemouth in the next month's power ranking, because I do feel like they can maintain this level, and European spots should be a priority for them this season. For that reason, Bournemouth, top 4 already, 2 points away from Arsenal. Great start to the league. In 8th place, we have got a team which is, they finished 8th place in the last power ranking, and it's Mr. Napoli. Leeds La Liga, Leeds Serie A, apologies, with 5 wins from the last 6. Only lost to City, but if you bear in mind, context into place, that game against City, they played with 10 players for majority of the game. Like, it was 0-0. They got a man sent off. Lorenzo, I think, got sent off. And they played with 10 players away to Etihad. So it's just kind of hard. But I do feel like the Champions League draw is very favourable, hence the reason why they beat Sporting. And the next 6 games, I can see them picking up points, which is why I can see them finishing whether the top 8 or whether the playoffs. Højlund currently is scoring a lot of goals, but Napoli is these kind of teams where Conte, I don't really look at him and I'm nervous, fam. I don't look at him and I say to myself, I don't think you're going to win the league. Like, the league, Napoli did a thing. The Champions League is where I look at Napoli and I look at Conte. This is the year which you have to impress. This is the year which you have to change that horrific, that disgusting Champions League record which you've got in your career. Like, this is your best chance. And most of the players have already had goal involvements, like Højlund, Anguissa, KDB, Højlund, Politano. I think only Neres hasn't scored a couple goals or assisted this season. But so far, Napoli, fair play. You man are maintaining your 11 from last month. In 7th place, we've got a newcomer, boys and girls. We've got Manchester City, unbeaten in the last 7 games, which is after the back-to-back losses which they had to Spurs and to Brighton, I believe it was. Yes, to Brighton, that 3-1 or 2-1. Pep have changed things. Pep have said, you know what? Let me keep the same 11. Let me change a couple of things around. Let me make myself better defensively. And since then, they've been better. Players have improved. The likes of Jeremy Doku, much better. Phil Foden, finally getting into the score sheet and finally getting some appearances. Defensively, bro, O'Reilly has been a massive part in that back line. Like, he basically, since I know he went down, this guy's basically made that position his own, and feel like he deserves a lot of credit. That the improvement he's made so far this season deserves a lot of credit. Kusanov on the right-hand side has been very good. Donnarumma has been a great addition and has been saving City in most games. They're only 3 points away from Arsenal. They're only 1 point away from 3rd place. So City, yes, they're 5th in the league, but fam, the Premier League table can change like this. You don't need to do anything crazy. And the Champions League, they beat Napoli. They should have beaten Monaco, but they conceded towards the end of the game. And Haaland, look what he's doing. He's on the Ballon d'Or level. Like, the goals that he scored, the carriage up that he's doing. Like, City, I feel like they'll get better with every single month. And I think they look at the season as maybe their last season, the last chance to get something. I don't know what Pep's going to do, whether leave or stay. But City, listen, forget what happened at the start of the season with Spurs and Brighton. I think they'll have a great season. In 6th place, we've got another newcomer, and it's Porto. Them and another team, which I'll get to, the only 2 teams who've yet to lose this season. Brother, they've only conceded once in the whole league. Once in the whole league, fam. Like, they had a 9-game winning streak. They were like Bayern. They kept winning games, and Jose Mourinho literally looked at that game. Like, I was watching the game. This guy went with a defensive. Like, this guy had 10 players in the back, fam. He went away to Porto, understanding that Porto's, of course, the better team, the better form in X, Y, and Z. Managed to pick up a scam 0-0. But Porto, so far this season, a lot of eyes has been on them, specifically to the manager, Mr. Fagioli, who was the former Ajax manager. And I've heard a lot of good things about him. Very young as well. I think he's 33, 34, and very, very, like, high potential in what he can do. Like, defensively, he's made Porto into a defensive demon. Only, by the way, please just understand that. They've only conceded 1 goal this whole season, which is kind of crazy if you deep it. Which is kind of crazy if you actually deep it. Of course, 2 from 2 in Europa League. Porto's having a great start to the season. In 5th place, a team who was 3rd, but now is 5th. It's Mr. Barcelona. Of course, they lost the last 2 games, and they've got a lot of injuries. A lot of injuries. Starts from the goalkeeper to the back line to the midfield to the attack. Even now, during the international break, Lee has been out. Ferran has been rumored to be out. Like, a lot of the first team players are getting out with an injury, which isn't ideal, of course. But I feel like them being 5th is not a surprise. Of course, the loss against Paris Saint-Germain, the loss against Seville, which, again, despite that lineup that you had, you still need to beat Seville. Like, you lost 4-1. It was bad. And Hansi Flick, the high line, it's not high lining. Like, a lot of Barca fans are starting to get a little bit upset towards Hansi Flick for not changing, for not maybe identifying that the back line is not working out in that high line system. So maybe change a couple of things around, which he's not doing it. Like, he's very stubborn to his system, which I cannot understand at the same time. But Barcelona, the only, if you want to look at it in terms of positive so far this season, is one, Rashford is on a great form. Pedri is on a great form. They're only 1 point behind Real Madrid. So it's not the worst, but it's not the best either. Hence the reason why I got that in 5th. In 4th place, I've got a team that finished 7th last month, but he's slightly better than Barcelona in terms of, they are, of course, leading La Liga with 7 wins from 8. They've only lost once this season. 9 games from 10 across all competitions. 2 from 2 in the Champions League and 7 from 8 in the in La Liga. Of course, that loss came against Atleti, which was our only difficult game on paper, and we managed to lose that 5-2. So hence the reason why I've got Real Madrid fourth. Like, yes, in terms of points we've got more points than third place in the power ranking and second place in the power ranking. But I still have us fourth because our toughest game on paper, we lost 5-2. So I'm still skeptical. These wins that we're doing against Kairat, against Espanyol, against whatever, it's cute, it's nice, but I'm looking forward to October. October, we're gonna play 2 big games in my opinion. We've got Juve and we've got Barcelona. So I want to see how we face up against Juve. Juve at home in the Champions League, I think it's calm, but Barcelona is the biggest test. Barcelona is the game which I want to see where this team can go potential-wise and whether we aren't as good as what we think we are. But we've scored 26 goals so far this season, which is not too bad to be fair. And of course, Mbappe's got like a hefty percentage of that goals. In third place, we have got Arsenal, who finished 4th last month. And listen, man, you can't really deny what they've done so far this season. They're first in the league, only lost once this season to Liverpool, which, if you kind of deep that game, man, they lost to a set piece. They lead, which is a crazy. Like, I saw the stats. They lead the top 5 leagues in terms of the best defensive numbers of the 9 games. Like, we already know how good they are defensively, but this season we're seeing to another level. Like, it takes a lot for you to score against Arsenal. Like, I'm deep in it. Like, with every game that I watch from Arsenal and I watch all of their games, it takes a lot for you to break them down. Like, if you deep that goal, which they've conceded, the goal against Newcastle came from a set piece, plus Gabriel, if he never dived, he could have easily managed to clear that out. And not clear that out, but make it difficult for Vaughan Monday. The game against Liverpool, they conceded. Why? To a set piece again. And the goal was to concede is mainly set pieces. And it's difficult to break that back line down. Of course, the midfield, which has got a lot of influence by Declan Rice, being massive in terms of the off-the-ball movement. But Arsenal's been great this season. Of course, in the Champions League, 2 wins, 4 goals, 0 goals conceded. Arsenal's having a very great start to the league. Let's see, because they always do it, like great start to the league, and then towards the end of the season, the crunch time, they fade away. Let's see if this time they can actually maintain and be consistent for once. In second place is a team that we had first last month, but of course dropped to second. Nothing really towards them. It's just that the other team is doing way better. But like Paris Saint-Germain, it's very similar to Barcelona in a way where they are having a lot of injuries. They've got a lot of injuries to the backline, to the midfield, to the star players up front, especially the star players up front, because Due and then Bennett's been out for majority of the season. Like Neves has been out, like Cavara has been out, like Marquinhos has been out. And they've had a lot of injuries. Despite that, they still lead the league and League R. Yes, it might not be that impressive to lead Ligue A, but Ligue A this season has a lot of competition, bro. Like Marseille is doing very well, Lyon is doing well, Monaco, Strasbourg is doing well. So again, leading Ligue A. I think this season Ligue A will have a lot of competition. Anyway, they're 2 from 2 in the Champions League. They beat, which is the most impressive part, they beat Barca away, despite having 6 players out, first team players out, which is very impressive. Very, very impressive. And they score a lot of goals in the Champions League. That Paris Saint-Germain, despite I've seen people say they've had a slow start, which again, after what they gave us, like standards-wise towards the end of last season, it kind of is slow, but that slow is still having them second in the power ranking. Like they still, for me, top 2 in the whole world. I don't care how slow of a start you want to claim they have. For me, they're still elite. But number 1, I don't think it's a surprise to anyone. It's Mr. Bayern Munich, the only team to win every single game so far this season. They are having the best ever start that any team in the top 5 leagues has ever done. Like this, what they're doing is insane, and so many numbers can back it up. But for me, I picked the craziest number of them all. They have scored 38 goals already this season. And we're in October. We haven't even finished. We haven't even reached mid-part of October. They've scored 38 goals. You can say the Bundesliga is weak. You can say this and that. You can say whatever you want to say, but don't take anything away from 38 goals, fam. If it's that easy, then Pep should have done it with Bayern. Or Nagelsmann should have done it. Or Tuchel should have done it. Why is Company doing it? This is what I'm saying. That Bayern currently is playing. Company has got these lot playing on an insane level of form. And I'm looking forward to see which team can stop them. Because they've got some difficult games after the international break. It's got Dortmund being one of them, which I don't know if it's difficult, but the Champions League games, they've got some difficult games. One of them being Paris Saint-Germain. So I'm looking forward to that game. First place and second place. I want to see if the Bayern form is it a scam. It's like us, Real Madrid, where I feel like, yes, we've won 9 out of 10, but I'm still skeptical. Bayern, the only difficult game which they've had, if we're being real, is Chelsea. But they played at home, fam. So I want to see when they play an actual difficult side, how good are they? So this is what I'm looking forward to see. Of course, the star players are scoring goals. Kane, look what he's doing. Ulisse, look what he's doing. Gnabry out of nowhere. Luis Diaz scoring form. Plavinic, their midfield. Goretzka, whatever. Their team, like Vincent Kompany, has got them playing in a crazy form. But I want to see once they're playing their first difficult team on paper. Let's see how they match up. But this is my top 10 for September. Of course, put down in the comments what you guys make of the September edition. Put down in the comments what you guys make, whether you're good with my selection and your own top 10. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And let's see who finishes top 10 in the next month. Peace.